Welcome back. Today we are stepping into the box for another episode of Quick Pitch, talking about pretty much anything. And to start, I'm talking about this rule that has been changed, I guess. The original rule of how a pitcher is supposed to pitch with 2 feet on the ground. And now we're
You seem
just
pretty. You seem to be pretty bothered by it.
I just find it rather ridiculous that a pivot foot can become airborne. Crow hop, legal. How does that make sense? That sounded like slam poetry. Slam poetry.
Oh my gosh, what is wrong with you, dude?
Is this drink that
Your little
has
fizzy bubbles.
that has
7
32
million
milligrams of
milligrams of
caffeine.
caffeine.
It has 32
Why are you drinking that at 9:30?
because it's a prebiotic soda. It's
Whatever.
good for the
Anyway,
gut.
so the rule change, it's just mimicking what international rules are.
Yeah, which I
And
mean
Team
makes sense when you
Japan,
look at it that way. But
yeah, I mean, Team Japan's been pitching that way for years. And I mean, Team USA hadn't really had any problems with it aside from 2020 when we decided to come in second. But I mean, so what? Now, Monica or Megan Faramo. I was thinking Monica Abbott and Megan Faramo.
close.
Shut up. Uh, but I mean, yeah, so what? Now, Megan Faramo, when she goes and throws in the Olympics in 5 years, 4 years, she gets the crow hop now. Sweet. It's better for us.
I mean it is for sure. It's just I guess it just got under my skin because I feel like
Valerie
it's
Cakel's
wrong.
gonna Valerie Cakel's gonna throw 80 now.
God, could you imagine? Just Carlin Pickens is freaking
Yeah.
dicing it. Oh man.
Well, that reminds me. This is completely off topic, and it has to do with my boys practicing today. But it's it, it it's slightly attached to this topic conversation in that we were just talking about throwing really hard from really close, right? So we were simulating velocity today, and we had the hack attack turned on like 70 from 20 feet away.
Well, that's unreal velocity.
Yeah, they looked it up. What the conversion was, it was 194 miles an hour.
Did anybody hit it?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
not consistently, but like there was a freshman who was barreling it up, hitting line drives.
Yeah, that's not me for sure. Forget the 194. I'm more so talking about the hack attack. That thing's unreal.
For softball, for sure. Baseball, it's not as bad. Baseball, it's a lot more consistent for baseballs.
You don't know what pitch you're getting.
Yeah, but yeah. Nevertheless, back to the softball rule change. It just makes more sense. It's in line with international rules, and it may not drastically impact the game this year, but in the long term, our girls are going to start using that type of pitching technique, and they they're not all going to gain drastic velocity or anything. You might have one or two that do, but I mean, I'd imagine you're talking the difference in 2 to 3 miles an hour on your average pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, when
Which
you
I
put
mean,
it in terms of
if you're going from 68 to 71, like that's a pretty big jump.
right.
You don't really so depending on the starting point, it'll be a significant impact for some pitchers, but not everybody. And we won't see that I don't imagine a ton this year because for forever nobody's been taught to pitch that way, and
Right.
it will all be
Mm-hmm.
it'll all be experimental for this year. So
I mean, when you're
might have some
talking that
pitchers. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say when you're talking that it aligns with the international players, like it makes sense. But at the same time, like the US doesn't use the metric system like the rest of the world.
Yeah, we do though in science.
Who cares about science?
You teach science, so your degrees in science.
You got me there. I was making lava lamps today, so
That's pretty cool.
yeah, it was.
Um,
Anyways,
but anything else you want to say about this rule that's got you all hot and bothered?
no, I just needed to get that off my chest because it was
You
really
just need to
aggravating.
be you just need to be glad that Samantha Richards couldn't do that to you.
Okay. I'll have you know, one time she hit me and helped me set a school record, so shout out to Samantha Richards for that one. The other times I probably struck out, but that's besides the point. Win some, lose most. What can you do?
All right. So, outside of the rule change for that only applies to NCAA, by the way.
Yeah.
That rule has not trickled down to high school or JUCO ball. I don't think it's trickled down JUCO ball. I know it's not in high school though. High school has not adopted that rule. I didn't see where it went as far down as JUCO or even NAIA. I didn't see that rule change.
Yeah, I only saw NCAA.
Yeah. Um, but aside from the rule change, uh, JUCO softball has been back in action for the last like week and a half ish, 2 weeks or so, and seen some pretty stellar performances from a select few folks thus far. I posted about them earlier today. Um, posted 3 stories anyway. One out of Florida Southwestern. They have a freshman, Emily Allgood, I think is how you say her last name. She's a two-way player for the Lady Bucks, and just
Pretty good one.
yeah, like you step in as a freshman, you throw uh, you throw shutout pitching. You walk away from your first 4 games with a 0 ERA, and you go 7 for 11 at the plate with 2 doubles and a triple. I'd say that's pretty solid.
Off to a very hot start. A triple is
Yeah,
just crazy to me. At the collegiate level, I just feel like a triple. I don't know. A triple just seems crazy. She hit it in the right field corner because everybody gets a triple on that one, you know. But maybe she's just really fast.
I wasn't there, but a triple's a triple in my book. So
Right.
whether you hit it in the right field corner or not.
Seven
But you
for
got one
11.
from
4-0.
yeah, just a freak performance. But the same thing can be said for Northwest Florida's freshman catcher, Sister Arnold, who after the Raiders start out 6-0 on the year, Arnold is 10 for 20 with 6 home runs. That's
Imagine she
insane.
keeps that up and she's just rocking 52 home runs by the end of the season.
Yeah, just a home run every single game. I'd imagine her batting average would suffer at some point, but if that were the case, but I mean, doing pretty good thus far.
Yeah.
And then McLennan's, McLennan Community College, the Highlanders, they're also off to a phenomenal start. They're on fire. Um, they, I think they're 5-0 on the year, I believe.
Yeah.
Behind what?
I just said yeah to
Mhm.
to support your 5-0
Behind.
question mark.
Okay. Yeah. So 5-0 behind freshman corner infielders. He plays first and third base. Trinity Allen, who is slugging 1455 with a 455 on batting average. She has 3 home runs, getting on base over 70% of the time. That was the most impressive stat to me. Like she has some other teammates who have some higher batting averages, maybe a home run or two, but her on base percentage through the roof.
Best stat right there.
Yeah, like who's getting on base 71% of the time?
Well, clearly Trinity Allen.
Oh man. Yeah, but I mean like we've posted about um all these stellar athletes for every team on the top 25 in Division 1. We posted about all the All Americans represented in the top 10, or really, yeah, the top 10 for D2, and then a handful more from 11 through 25. I mean, these JUCO girls are pretty stout themselves. Definitely, if I'm a 4-year school, I'm definitely keeping an eye on these three over the next couple of weeks to see if they continue to just absolutely rake.
That's what I was just about to say is that if I was this one of these JUCO players and I'm cruising like this, not even for the whole season. I mean, you can cruise like this for just a few weeks, and that's all it takes for year to be like, yeah, you're coming with us.
Yeah, you definitely making an opportunity for yourself for sure. Um, there's one more that I wanted to talk about uh, from the old home state. She is a transfer from southeastern Louisiana. She goes to
Okay.
Pearl River. Her name is Lainey Bailey, and Lainey Bailey. Let's just talk about Pearl River for a second, though. Pearl River is also undefeated right now. They are. Let me see. They're 4-0 after this past weekend, this past week. Number 6 in the country. In their first 3 games, they won by a combined score of 36-2.
Oh,
Stomping on
I was
folks.
about to say they're not just winning.
It was like 10-0, 10-2, 6-0.
Your math's not mathing.
That's 26. My bad. Um, yeah, so maybe that was probably a typo. I'm pretty sure it was like 10, 10, and 6 or something like that.
Either way.
Yeah, I mean they're still beating the snot out of folks. Then they play Baton Rouge Community College and keep that streak alive with a 1-0 win. So definitely a much closer game. But transfer pitcher Laney Bailey was 2-0 in the circle with a .64 ERA and goes 8-for-11 at the plate with 2 home runs, 2 triples, and 2 doubles.
She almost hit twice for the cycle, just over a week.
Yeah. Well,
Sure, there were
I
two
didn't
singles
look
thrown
at.
in there.
Yeah. I was about to say I didn't because that's 2-4.
Well, eight
That's
for
only 6
11.
hits. Yeah. So I'm sure she hit for the cycle.
Wow,
That's
that's love a good two-way player.
yeah. That's wild though. Like, but good. I mean, good for Pearl River. Great for the state of Mississippi.
True.
Making us look really good. Go Wildcats. Pearl River heads into Thursday, trying to climb up the rankings, get to that number 1 spot, and they have a doubleheader against Sneed State.
I don't know anything about Sneed.
I don't know a lot about Sneed. I do know that they're not ranked, and I 100% expect Pearl River to win. I just don't know by like what margin. But the expectation is definitely that the Wildcats are gonna win. So
Yeah.
but we'll see. Keep up with them. See what happens. On another note, get back into D2. D2 started this past weekend,
It did.
and your alma mater not. I mean, actually, starting out the year on a pretty good streak.
Yeah, they bleed. They bleed. They beat Blue Mountain. They bleed
Yeah,
Blue Mountain.
they beat Blue Mountain twice, right?
They
CVU
did.
did,
Yeah, I believe
and
so.
then are they 2-1 or 3-0?
Your guess is as good as mine.
I'll check it out real quick. Uh, Outside, they're 2-0, so they've only played the 2 games against Blue Mountain, but they won 7-3 and 9-0. So it looks like
That's we're
pitching
working.
is doing a lot better. Yeah,
Yeah.
pitching is doing a lot better this year, and like you said, the bats are working. So at least for now,
Yeah, we'll wait and see
Blue
until
Mountain,
till they get
yeah,
to
Blue Mountain,
conference play.
yeah, Blue Mountain did just go through an entire coaching staff change, and they're an NAIA school, whereas CVU is a D2 school. So we'll see
Well,
how they fare this weekend
when
when
they
they
go
go.
to the UAH chill out, ooh,
Yeah.
terrible place. It's so cold every year.
Outside of that, though, as far as D2 goes, in the teams from the top 10, 7 of the 10 played this past weekend. And of those 7, the only unbeaten team left is North Georgia, who won the national championship a year ago. Can't say I'm surprised, seeing as how North Georgia didn't lose a soul from their starting roster a year ago.
Oh, that's crazy. Could you imagine how I would be so hype if I was a coach and I just won a national
Oh yeah,
championship and I'm like, no worries, guys, my whole team's coming back.
yeah. Like they had 4 pitchers last year. Let me see. They had Kristen Davis, Sophie Mooney, Tybee Denton, and Delaney Haberlin, and they're all coming back, or they all came back. They're all pitching again this year. Sophie Mooney is I think she's a 2-way player. I think she plays like some corner infield and pitches and just absolutely tears the cover off the ball.
Mm.
And then the other 3, I believe, are POs. But they're all back. And as a staff last year, they were just incredible. As a staff, last year, they had a team ERA, and this includes one more pitcher, Aniston Wright, but I don't know if she's still there. But only 5 pitchers. Team ERA of a 1.95.
Yeah, no wonder they did so well.
Yeah. Delaney Haberlin had a 1.69. Sophie Mooney had a 1.79. Kristen Davis had a 2.02. Tybee Denton had a 2.2. Kristen Davis and Tybee Denton threw the most innings last year. And Kristen Davis was 20-1. Tybee Denton was 21-2.
And that's simply a pitching staff that you can trust.
Yeah. And then Haberlin and Mooney were 12-2 and 10-2. And then there Aniston Wright, who didn't throw very much at all last year, was still positive at 1-0. Like, and the top 4 all back again this year. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you said, as a coach, you're just chomping at the bit, getting ready to play.
Just having fun.
Yeah, just throw anybody. Aniston Wright is back. She's thrown an inning this year. Yeah, Kristen Davis threw 9 innings this past weekend. Gave up 0 runs. Has
Okay.
0 ERA. And Tybee Denton threw 8.2. Her ERA is a little bit higher than it was last year at 3.23, but it's still the beginning of the year. But she's still holding her opponents to a 189 batting average.
That's tough. That's tough. Yeah, that ERA will come down.
Yeah.
My favorite is when at the beginning of a season, if you go in just for like 2/3 of an inning and you get taken out, and you get that infinity, that
Your ERAs.
99.99. It's like, man, that's tough.
Starting off the season hot. Good luck bringing
Right?
that ERA down. Could you imagine like a high school kid or a junior college kid who's like trying to work his way out of that school to go to the next one? Or she's trying to work her way out of the school, go to the next one, and just like, I got to work down from a 99 now. I'm never even going to get a chance to pitch.
Oh, that's unfortunate. What a terrible stat to ever exist.
Mm. Yeah. As a team, North Georgia, after this past weekend, is hitting 407.
Okay. That's that's ridiculous.
Granted, it's not a ton of at bats. Like the most at bats anybody has is 13. But for the whole team to be hitting 407,
What's their
be it a small,
on base percentage?
their team on base percentage is 500.
That's like one time through the lineup, everybody's getting on.
Yeah.
Yikes. Sucks for their opponents.
Yeah, I was about to say. So everybody in D2, good luck.
Imagine being they're in the Peach Belt, right?
I believe so. Yeah, yeah. Peach Belt.
Yeah, imagine being in the Peach Belt, This is how I felt with Samantha Richards, actually. You're in the Peach Belt, season's over, and you're like, oh, thank God some of those girls are finally gone. No, they're not. Coming right back for the next season.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, good luck. Nighthawks. If I was a betting man, I'm putting all my money on the table with the Nighthawks. For
But you're not
sure.
a betting man, so
This is true. I'm not. I can't afford to lose $20. So Um,
Oh
also,
man.
some other potentially big news. I just happened to stumble upon it on Twitter the other day. Um, Middle Georgia, Middle Georgia is in the NAI.
Okay.
They got an invitation, at least their baseball program did. But I'd imagine that if their baseball program did, it applies to all athletics. I'm not exactly sure how that works though. But they got an invitation from the Peach Belt to join the Peach Belt.
Well, that's pretty
So
cool.
yeah, that's super cool. So there's a potential there for here in the next couple of years to see Middle Georgia go from NAI to D2.
It's a big jump.
Yeah, that's a huge jump. But I mean, it's awesome. That's awesome for Middle Georgia. Like, granted, there's absolutely nothing wrong with NAI by any means.
No,
Um, there's plenty of talent in NAI, really good teams in the NAI, but you get a little bit more consistency when you move into the NCAA and the higher divisions you go. So for Middle Georgia to get an invitation from the Peach Belt Conference is, I mean, that's a significant invitation for sure. So
that's
like I
pretty
said,
cool.
I'm not sure if that extends to the softball program since I saw that on a baseball feed, but
Surely, I mean, when one sport goes, they all
yeah,
go, right?
I can only speculate that it would be for the entire athletic department. And if that's the case, that's pretty cool. And would not be surprised to see Middle Georgia step in as a softball program and immediately be a contender for the Peach Belt.
That would be even cooler.
Yeah, I mean it would be hard to get around North Georgia for sure, but Middle Georgia's not. They ain't no slappies.
Yeah.
They're in the top 25 for NAI. Like they're pretty solid in their own right. So yeah, pretty big news. Anything else?
Well,
Anything else we want to touch on?
I was just gonna say, did you see that that was just like speculation, or was it like for
So
realsies?
it was one of their assistant baseball coaches. He posted it on his Twitter, and it was he was making an announcement saying like he was still actively recruiting for these specific positions from this specific class.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that was he uploaded pictures of their facilities to say like we have the tools to get you seen professionally. And
Mm-hmm.
then the other picture was Peach Belt invitation to Middle Georgia. Like it was like a screenshot of like like a like an email almost of some
Yeah.
kind.
Well, on their website, it says Middle Georgia State Athletics is transitioning from the NAIA to the NCAA. So I guess
That
it's for realsies.
that's pretty sweet. That's huge news. Huge news. So
Yeah.
good for Middle Georgia. Good for the NCAA. Good for the Peach Belt Conference.
Yeah, that adds another little in-state rivalry for them.
For
Rivalry.
sure. North Georgia versus
Rivalry.
Middle Georgia. The blue versus the purple. I like it. I like it. I'm here for it. I need to see cutthroat softball. Benches clearing. Maybe not. Maybe just some good old fashioned competition.
Respectful competition.
Yeah,
No punches thrown.
yeah. Oh, but yeah. You got anything else?
I don't.
All right. Well, I think that'll do it for this episode of Quick Pitch. And we'll catch you next time. Make sure you follow us Instagram, Twitter, all the social medias.
Yep.